Viewers, can you... Hello?
Sir, please.
Sir, matadi sir.
There is some disturbance beyond. I think you can ask the audience participants to switch off.
I request all the participants to mute your audios. You can open your videos. Kindly mute your audios.
Prakash, you are not quite audible.
I request all the audience to mute your mics, mute your speaker, and enjoy the panel discussion. Good evening to all. Dear audience, as you know, Dharwad Katte started its program during the time when the whole world was crushed under the COVID pandemic. Since then, Dharwad Katte has been organizing many lecture series and programs on literature, culture, nationalism, and so on. In this connection, today we have a special program on implementation of NEP. It is a panel discussion. To this unique program, I welcome the panelists, Professor Ravindranath Anisetti, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir. I also welcome Professor Karisiddappa, former Vice Chancellor, Vishweshwar Technological University, Belagavi. Professor S.S. Murthy, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kalaburgi. Professor Meena Chandavarkar, former Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Akka Mahadevi Women's University, Vijayapur. Professor Mallikarjun Alagawadi, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi, and the coordinator for today's panel discussion, Professor Basavaraj P. Donur, Director of Academics, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi. I also welcome all the members of Dharwad Katte and our reporters and all the dear audience. The panel discussion will it takes place for 2 rounds, and Professor Donur sir will explain the structure of this panel discussion. Dear all, we know that we have many questions like what NEP is, what are its aims, and what it can do to us. And some of the genuine questions like what is the validity of the NEP 2020. So we try to find answers for all these questions by our panelists. I hand over the platform to Professor Basavaraj P. Donur, who will carry on the panel discussion with the beginning brief. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash Badikai. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Good evening to Dharwad Katte viewers and all honorable panelists and ladies and gentlemen. To start with, let me also extend a warm welcome to Professor Ravindranath Anisetti, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir. I extend warm welcome to Professor S.S. Murthy, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi. Professor Karisiddappa, former Vice Chancellor, Vishweshwar Technological University, Belagavi. Professor Meena Chandavarkar, Madam, former Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Women's University, Vijayapur. And Professor Mallikarjun Alagawadi, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi, to this very important panel discussion on implementation of NEP. And I have just learned that some 20 minutes ago, the government of Karnataka has announced scrapping of NEP and planning to develop its own state-specific education policy. And this panel discussion, we are holding this panel discussion after the government of Karnataka has announced its decision to scrap NEP. But the objective of this panel discussion is to discuss the importance and significance of NEP and why all central institutions and all education institutions in all the states of India have to implement NEP in 2020. I shall just explain the structure of the panel discussion to you. There shall be 2 rounds of discussion, and each panelist can take 7.5 minutes to answer each question and can take a total of 15 minutes and 5 minutes to answer the question of viewers, if any. And Professor Kirisiddappa may not join the panel discussion today. He has an important assignment. He just called me up and expressed his inability to join. However, I requested him to try to join the panel discussion. If not in the beginning, he can also join at the end. And Professor Murthy, sir, has to leave the panel discussion at 6:30 because he has another prior engagement. And I also know that Professor Meera Chandarkar Madam and Professor Alagwadi have to travel to Bangalore. They have to catch their trains and travel to Bangalore to attend an important meeting in Bangalore tomorrow. So with these constraints, let us see how best we can hold this panel discussion. To start with, I have a question for Professor S.S. Murthy, sir. Sir, what could be the reasons why certain government, or for example, government of Karnataka, thought of replacing NEP with the state education policy? And my second question to you, what could be the implications of such a step? For instance, the government of Karnataka has already taken the decision today, just 20 minutes ago, to scrap NEP 2020 and replace or plan to develop its own state-specific education policy. If in this case, what can be the implications of such a step, and what would be your suggestion to the government that wants to do away with NEP? Murthy sir.
Yeah, I have gone through the NEP document in detail, and I find it a very well prepared and very useful document. And it was prepared by Kasturangan committee with about 7 academic experts. They took almost few years, and they took around. I think they also got a feedback or reactions from more than 2 lakhs persons from the country. So they have adopted all these things. So final document is a result of this type of interaction. So it was a well researched document that way. And in fact, some of the
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay, is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. You see, the thing is, let us go to the genesis. The NEP was formulated by the Kasturangan committee after a lot of deliberation for a few years. Even our Kattimani was a member. And then it got a reaction or a feedback from more than 2 lakhs people from all over the country. And this committee adopted all their suggestions to the extent possible. So they prepared the final document like this. And I wish, some of the Kannada writers who are objecting to NEP, they could have also written to the same committee for specific objections or whatever you may say. Therefore, the so-called suggestion or the suggestion to scrap NEP is an unfortunate one. And what we, my suggestion is they can form a really expert committee of academicians in Karnataka who can go through the NEP, and they can adopt those aspects which are relevant and useful to the education system in Karnataka. And I think that is otherwise, the fact of the matter is NEP is unstoppable. And this is a fact. Whole country has accepted it. Most of the academicians are very enthusiastic about it. Most of the central institutions are very positive about it. They're already working on how to make it a successful thing. We had dozens of seminars held in the country where they have all discussed how to implement NEP and not to scrap it. Nobody discussed how to scrap NEP. Okay, that is the ground reality in the whole country. And of course, unfortunately, one of the ministers said that Karnataka has a different culture than Indian culture. And this is a way to impose Hindi and this thing. But if you go through NEP, there was no such fears are valid. And in fact, the Ambedkar said, think you must think Indian first and Indian last. Nobody thinks of Karnataka culture, Indian culture, Tamil Nadu culture, South Karnataka culture, Dharwad culture, Hubli culture, and like that. Okay, so the thing is, we are all one as this thing. Therefore, it will education must be to unite people. There is a one education is unified. It is not divided that way. So Karnataka can have different education, and different states cannot have a different education. Anyway, see, my suggestion, as I mentioned, is that they can make an expert committee of academicians from IITs, NITs, IASC, and leading institutions, leading universities, and then they can go through the NEP, and then whatever is practicable to implement in Karnataka, they can start implementing it. But that's the practical way to do it instead of restart the whole thing. It will be a waste of time and resources. Therefore, it is a much better way to use the already the work that has already been done. Therefore, I think my suggestion is uh, to start implementing it, the NEP, with whatever modifications. And my concern also is in Karnataka, all the central institutions have endorsed it. They have already started implementing it. IITs, NITs, central universities, IIM Bangalore, and all these things. And also, all the private universities have claimed that they are NEP compliant. Okay, and all the sort of autonomous institutions have said that they will go for NEP. So those who will not go for NEP as per the Karnataka government dictates will be the private college, government colleges, and maybe government schools. So very few. So they are the people who will be affected, and they may be in a way they are the sufferers. Whereas all others will go ahead with using very positive aspects of NEP. This and then they even the government schools will be affected. Unfortunately, High Court has said that the status of infrastructure of government schools in Karnataka is not good, and therefore, effort must be to improve the infrastructure, improve the teaching methods, and there are a lot of teacher vacancies in schools. So, unfortunately, the most affected by this decision would be the poor and rural and marginalized sections of the society who will miss all the positive aspects of NEP. Okay, therefore, I think this aspect has to be looked at because most of the leaders or politicians, their children anyway go to the English medium private schools and also leading institutions in the country or in the state. They will not be affected. So it is therefore there has to be a big input to improve the standard of education by the state-run institutions, and therefore whatever state education policy will be applicable to only a small portion of the education system in Karnataka, where rest of them they have already declared it to be to follow NEP. Therefore, I think this concern has to be addressed, and there is. I don't think there is anything terribly wrong with NEP as such. There are very positive things. There are interdisciplinary things are there. There is you can also have a flexibility is there. There is a cross type of a entry exit systems and so on. So I don't see anything negative about it, and also it helps in improving regional languages because NEP emphasizes more on mother tongue as a medium of instruction, and I think it can be very positive for development of Kannada also in the state. Therefore, there is. In fact, I studied in a Kannada medium school. I think we should encourage more students to take the Kannada medium in the state. That has to be encouraged, and therefore, I think it is a I think it should become a win-win situation. So I would only sincerely feel and suggest that the Karnataka government should relook at the whole thing, not total scrapping. They can tweak, they can do modifications, no problem. Okay, and make sure that the poor and the rural people of Karnataka are not unduly affected by these decisions. Thank you. Okay.
Sir, thank you for your candid opinion about the importance and significance of NEP. Sir, I have one more question for you. Before I take up my next question, let me extend a warm welcome to professors from Indira Gandhi National Tribal University who have joined the online program, and professors from Central University of Andhra Pradesh, Osmania University, Mysore University, Karnataka University. There are about 86 professors who have joined this online panel discussion, and a lot of people are also watching our panel discussion on YouTube and other channels. Professor Murthy sir, this NEP was prepared by the educationists and experts after consulting, as you said, as many as 2 lakhs of people across India, and it is a very scientifically prepared document. Now, the government should have constituted a committee to look into it, and based on the recommendations of the committee, the cabinet may take the decision. In that case, we can see there is some point in taking this decision. But the government has taken decision without constituting any committee to look into the NEP, National Education Policy. It's a national policy, it's a national document. And this has to be implemented, as you said, in all education institutions across India. Now the government has taken the decision. What do you think can be the implications of such a step, scrapping NEP in Karnataka?
See, as I already mentioned, this will affect the government institutions, government schools and government colleges, and nobody else, because all others are following NEP, number one, and all the central institutions are following, and it has received an international acclaim. Even the QS CEO of the QS World Ranking System, he says NEP in India is a great experiment and great reform. It will improve their education system in India. And all directors of IITs, NITs, leading institutions, everybody has already acclaimed it. So it is a in thing. UGC is working very much on this thing. Even today, newspapers say UGC have already instructed how to allow internationalization, the India students to register in and also have an international registrations, and also international foreign universities can interact with Indian institutions and so on. Therefore, there is this will be all these positive things, and also there is also emphasis on Indian knowledge systems. Okay, I think that also is one aspect. In fact, today, in fact, there was an Oxford University professor recently told the information about the rulers of Ashoka, Chola, etc., how they helped in the environment. Even he quotes Vedas and Upanishads. They say that it tells about how to improve the environment and so on. Therefore, Schrödinger said his theory of quantum mechanics is based on Upanishads. And even Oppenheimer recent film has come, he quotes Gita, like that. Therefore, there is a lot. In fact, yesterday I heard one YouTube thing from the Columbia University professor who said, that Indian languages will have a lot of strength, including Sanskrit. And he mentions these things. And he says that China, almost every university has a center of Chinese studies. He says India doesn't have center of Indian studies. Yeah, America has 100 centers for Indian studies. India doesn't have. Therefore, why are we shying of teaching to our children some of the great knowledge which are generated here? It has been proven that a sage like Canada, who said Newton's laws, 1,000 years before Newton, he promoted this thing, and it has been acknowledged by University of Manchester. Therefore, what I am trying to say is, why we should get out of this Macaulay inspired colonial mindset. And let us also give whatever is good for everybody. Mahatma Gandhi said, let us that the air came from all over the world to us. That's a Nalanda were developed in that international this thing, etc. Therefore, we should keep it open. Let it be a general, liberal this thing. Even and only then it will be a true education is always universal education. The objective of education is to create good human beings. Okay, and with universal human values. Okay, there is no regionalism in all these things,
Okay,
and therefore, I think I would only request the Karnataka government to relook at this whole thing and then make the best out of the situation and not unduly politicize the whole thing. This is my suggestion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, we will take questions from the viewers at the end of our panel discussion.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you at the end again. If you are still online, you can answer
Yeah,
questions.
I'll get back. I'll be back after 15-20 minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, my next question is for Professor Rabindranath Anisetti, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir. Some section of people, including educationists and writers, have expressed the view that NEP addresses issues of a certain section of Indian society. It does not address the issues of all major sections of Indian society. Do you agree with this view?
So, I thank you, Baswaraj, for inviting me on this panel discussion, and also my great respects to all the panel members, especially Meena Madam and Srinivas Murthy and Algawadi and Siddhappa, who liked to join. And indeed, you are well aware of that. The education is not supposed to be cater to the particular section. It should supposed to cater to the everyone. More or less, this NEP 2020 is an inclusive model, not equal distribution model. Inclusive model means it can give the education based on the learner interest and learner ability. So the student of a gifted learner can do more number of credits, average learner do a normal credits, and a passive learner can do lesser number of credits, exceeding the normal duration to complete his degree. So this flexibility has been given in the NEP. Earlier it was not there. So actually the NEP mainly let learner to be the focal point is the one of the important aspect. And three things it is promoting. One is the relevance. So mainly relevance means the knowledge centric and based on outcome based education. So this we have to look into. So outcome based education syllabus has been designed by the UGC, and subsequently the flexibility mainly the student centric. So where choice based credits in already being introduced. And thirdly, it is the mobility, the qualification centric academic bank of credits, which is introduced through the NEP 2020. Prior to that, it was not there. If Karnataka goes out of this NEP 2020, there is a problem of students' mobility to across the states and the country, and which is being recognized by other foreign countries also. This model is being recognized, and they are appreciating. This story of this qualification, equivalence, and recognition of degrees started 60 years ago by UNESCO. So this UNESCO has 1973 first made the world into 6 different zones. They made a consultation activities. So we fall under Asia Pacific zone of that particular qualification, equivalence, and recognition of degrees model. So it took almost 10 years to complete all consultations, and another 10 years to take a decision on the universal decision, the UNESCO in 1990. So based on that, there are 3 important parameters has been envisaged during that time. Every nation should have the national information system. So now All India Survey on Higher Education is giving, so what the actually things are available in every institutions in terms of infrastructure, faculty, programs, and everything. So based on that, they are able to see the that particular institution does meet the qualification requirements or the competency requirement by the students or not. The secondly, the National Quality Assurance System, so which NAC has been established after 90s only. So this is one of the things. Third is it is the one of the national qualification frameworks. First, initially it was introduced in school education system in 2005, and then 2011 onwards, national qualification framework is coming in the form of CBCS. Today, National Higher Education Qualification Framework model has been envisaged, so that is going on. So these things are necessary. The students how to move from one place to another. And in terms of mobility, means there is a vertical mobility for higher education and horizontal mobility for employment. So these two possibilities are there. If Karnataka government want to deviate from this particular thing, it is a very difficult situation for the students. As Murthy sir already mentioned that only government institution will put it last. Even the private university by state legislation act come over, they slowly move into deemed university status with the central act. So that they want to implement the NEP 2020 so that their students can mobile to other places in the country, elsewhere in the world. So this situation do happens. Actually, the politics should not connect it to this. The one of the things just I would like to mention you, 1976 in the 42nd Amendment Act, earlier it was with the state subject education. There are 6 or one of the 7 subjects has been transferred as a concurrent list. When concurrent list is there, it is normally we have to mobilize whatever the center has been guided that. But the flexibility is there for any state they wanted to do, if especially the curriculum requirements, as you mentioned that Karnataka want to have its own identity. So for that, normally any curriculum design we have to ensure that 40 to 50% should meet the international qualification equivalences, that standards. 30 to 40% they should meet for the national equivalences of mobility, and 30% to be meet at regional needs. In that again 20% only will be their regional needs, and 10% any institution or university its uniqueness they have to create. So out of 100%, so that flexibility is there. Initially when CBCS has been given, so UGC mentioned that only 20% flexibility is there in curriculum modification, but subsequently they modified that is 30% modification is able. Today is also, if they wanted to have incorporate the Karnataka interest and other things, 30% flexibility they can take up in the model curriculum which is prepared at national level. So these things are there. Of course, I don't think that is because we know learner is classified into 3 categories, especially gifted learner, average learner, passive learner. So their level of learning activities, time they cover is totally different. So this giving the such flexibility, just I understand it is not catering to a section of people, it is catering to the whole section of the society. So that I feel it so. This is what just I wanted to convey in the aspect of the NEP 2020. So further, if anything, just we can proceed.
Thank you, sir. Please stay back, sir. I will get back to you after a few minutes. And you have rightly pointed out that the decision of any state government to scrap NEP will badly affect the mobility of the students. And education also is in the concurrent list. And we have federal system. And such decisions will definitely affect the federal structure of the country. Thank you, sir. My question to Professor Meera Chandarkar, Madam. Madam, NEP is a national document which caters to the educational needs of the students and fulfills the dreams and aspirations of all stakeholders. Madam, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, madam. And in our society, there is a perception that NEP represents only a certain class of Indian section, not India as a whole. But the reality is that it does address all important issues of the nation. Can you please throw some light on this?
Yes. At the outset, I congratulate you, Professor Donur, for having this panel discussion on a very crucial topic and that also at a very crucial point when just half an hour back the decision to implement NEP has been taken take back NEP has been taken by the government, and it's very nice to see 94 participants in this program uh, with so many panelists. It really it reflects on the seriousness which Central University of Karnataka and this Dharwad Katte has taken, because um, this is a topic, as you rightly said, there may be a general opinion that it caters to only a particular section of society. But see, who is the section of society? It is the student. A
Yes.
student is the section of society. It does not relate it to any other parameter except that it is the student community. And we, especially in our nation, in India, we have the maximum demographic dividend, that is the student community. And if we do not think of the student community, then how will the nation prosper? Because on one side we say we have a rich demographic dividend, but on the other side we take such decisions which puts this demographic dividend into severe total confusion and restlessness. As it is, we are talking about moving from complacency to competency. We have the qualifications maybe, but are we competent enough to to face the changing needs of society, to face the changing scenario even in the international sphere, where many Indian students are studying across the globe. And when this is the case, if we do not have the education policy, it is only for education, and it is only for the student community. No, to which community or to which class or to which area, to which region they belong, to which sex they belong, nothing is important. The only thing is that they are the student community, and they are the demographic dividend which India boasts about. And hence, after 34 years, this policy has come, and that also it has so many features which the other panelists have already highlighted, like like a multidisciplinary approach, not sticking only for arts or science or commerce or technology, but adopting a multidisciplinary approach, having education in the mother tongue at least up to standard 8 of the child, so that to make him comfortable, to make his cognitive learning abilities very strong, and to make him a competent person. And another important thing is what Mahatma Gandhi ji had expressed in his Nai Talim, in his basic education concept. He used to say that head, heart, and hands, all the three should work in unity. Only then the learning part will be effective. And here the NEP speaks about experiential learning. So right from sixth standard, the students are. It speaks about exposing the students uh, for different sort of experiments to actually do it. Because when you hear, when you listen, you don't remember it for a long time. But when you do it, you will not forget it. And that is the advantage of experiential learning. And that is a very important aspect here. So, on the whole, we speak of holistic education. Holistic education from the emotional point of view, from the academic point of view, from the intelligence point of view, and from the social aspects also. So, from all the aspects, when we think of the NEP, it's really a very positive instrument which will definitely make a change in the academic scenario and the ranking of our nation vis-a-vis the other places in the globe. Now, if we want a GER of a gross enrollment ratio to increase up to 50% by 2035, then drastic steps have to be taken. A revolutionary change. Technology is galloping, and technology has to be a part of the curriculum, which is a part of this NEP. Similarly, so many other aspects like the multi-entry and exit option which is given, especially for women. I feel it's a very, very useful thing. And if we speak about increasing the literacy levels, increasing the GER of women, then we have to have something which by which we can make it convenient for them. So for the woman especially, of course it is for the men also, but for the woman, I feel that a multi entry and exit option, it is very, especially India lives in her villages, and 70% of our students come from the rural background. And in the rural background, still the traditional thoughts, traditional ideas, conservative approach, it is still there. So there is a possibility the student gets married early, and then she has to exit for family reasons. And after 1 or 2 years, she would like to come back, and her credits will be not wasted. They will be saved in the academic bank of credit, and she will be able to again pursue education. So there may be a gap, but she will be able to pursue the education. This applies to the men also, the boys also. If they have to start earning, if they want to take up a job, or if a boy wants to help his farmer father in the field, he may take a break and then he can continue the education later on. So exactly what is it that the government is not happy about, that has to be identified. Is learning in the mother tongue not good? Is a multidisciplinary approach not good? Is experiential learning not good? So exactly, just barring a few chapters which need to be changed in their opinion, I don't think anything else is against the development of the nation. And development of the nation is one. Nation is one, and the student community is one. We have to bring the student community and also the teacher community out of intellectual inertia. That laziness which is there, that complacency which is there, it has to be overcome. And this can be done through the effective implementation of the NEP. So I absolutely don't agree that it is catering to the only one section of society. If it is one section of a section of society, that is a student section, that's all. A student section, nothing else. That is what I want to say about this.
Thank you, madam. Please stay back for the next question. And I'm sure that the viewers will agree with your view. You are very clear and candid and direct in your approach to NEP. And as you said, NEP does not cater to the needs of one section of Indian society. It is a national document, education document. It is meant for every single student studying in this country. And NEP is not a political document. It is an educational document which people should understand. Even universities like Oxford and Cambridge, they have their own policies. And all the colleges in Oxford University and Cambridge University have to compulsorily follow the federal structure. And we too have federal structure in terms of education and other things. And if any government takes such a step, it will definitely affect the federal structure and central state relations. Madam, what is your advice to not only the government of Karnataka, any Indian government which very seriously thinks of scrapping NEP 2020?
Professor, we are very proud. Even today, we are proud that Karnataka was the first state to implement NEP. We were the first in India, followed by Uttar Pradesh. So, and we remain to be the first. Now, to give any suggestion to the honorable government, my only concern is what exactly are they not happy with? As you said, it is not a political document, it is a academic education document, and it pertains to the entire nation. So, as Professor Murthy said, all the government institutions they have already implemented. And even in Karnataka, the Karnataka State Higher Education Academy immediately it swung into action. Committees were formed, and all the universities they implemented NEP. Of course, for the committees were formed and the syllabus and the curriculum, everything was framed. It was revised as per the new expectations. As far as the implementation in some areas there may still have many things have still to be done, but then time is still there, and if everyone is actually serious about it, the day is not far when the NEP will be implemented. So my suggestion is that if we need a practical solution, and if we are really interested in the students future, if we are really interested in trying to avoid any confusion or any unrest or any feeling of insecurity in the student's mind, we should I think we should have a broad approach. We should the government, which government is there is not important. It is how the NEP is going to help our future. And if there is any specific area in which they are not happy or they want a change, those could be discussed. As the committee which Professor Murthy was suggesting, the committee may be formed, and they could be the matters could be discussed on an open forum, and suggestions could be invited from outside, just as NEP had before implementation. So many suggestions from all the stakeholders was taken. So such approach would be desirable, but then I think duplicating the efforts is not necessary. This work has already been done, and again to just undo it and then redo it and then finally create a confusion and a chaos in the academic sphere, which not only affects our students, it affects our nation's ranking also in the global sphere. Our MOOCs program are the most sought after programs for distance education across the globe, because people everywhere have trust, have faith in the Indian system of education. And if we have to really, if we because we had that past, the Nalanda and the Takshashila universities, they have proved so many scholars, there used to be lines, and there used to be a mad rush to get admission, and everyone was not fortunate enough to get admission. When that was the case, then why have we to go behind? So the work is already done. It is only a matter of discussion on some issues which may not be acceptable to the new government. There could be discussions on that, and then accordingly, whatever is suitable in the interest of the students, that's all. Something which is in the interest of the students, it should be done. They should not be made the scapegoats. They should not be the sufferers. They should not, because they are the future of the nation. If they are the sufferers, the nation suffers. So we have to, before we take any such step, we have to think of the future of the nation through the future of our students.
Madam, thank you for your concerns and your opinion. And please stay back. I will come back to you
Yes.
after some time.
Yes.
Professor Lagwadi Saab.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, the decision to scrap NEP and plan for state-specific education policy will have its own implications on the students as a whole. Such a step, I think, will isolate the students of Karnataka, especially the students studying in government colleges and private colleges will be badly affected. Number one, it affects the mobility of the students. Number two, as I said, the students of Karnataka get cornered or isolated. They will not be in a position to compete with the other students across the nation, and they will not be in a position to compete with the students across the globe. And now even foreign universities insist that the Indian government adopts a policy which will make the students compete with the students across the globe. What do you think are the implications of the government's decision to scrap NEP and go for its own state-specific education policy? Question number one. Number two, to arrive at a conclusion, to come to conclusion to scrap the NEP should be based on the research findings of an expert committee, and the government has not done this exercise. I request you to respond to these two questions, sir.
Thank you, Professor Basaraj. First of all, let me appreciate and congratulate you for organizing this event, especially on a very important topic. Especially in the context of Karnataka, it is assumed more significant importance. And I must pay my regards to all my distinguished panelists. They have expressed their opinion very clearly. To add, the question is national education policy before any government for that matter, if they want to scrap it, it will create a sort of a confusion in the mind of students and faculty members and other stakeholders who are involved in education, be it school education or higher education. Though we are speaking with regard to higher education, the proper approach could have been to constitute a committee. I don't talk just in particular Karnataka, for any government. If they are differing or if they are not happy with the new education policy of Government of India, they should constitute a committee as Professor Murthy sir suggested and await the decision of that committee. All that they would suggest is any improvement based on the local context. But as such a structure of education policy, it is very well researched and documented. I don't understand as of now. I'm not able to really grasp in what way they are going to modify this education policy, except maybe tinkering here and there with regard to language or with regard to some courses. But for this, I don't see much big change that's going to happen. If it is going to happen, then as all panelists said, our students will be at loss, perhaps, because they'll not be able to compete with other students who are getting education under national education policy. For example, you take our UG program under national education policy, we have a 4-year degree UG program. So that is a very important, because that is a globally accepted format. The students who are interested in research, they can complete 4th year research and straightway join PhD courses. Thereby they can save on time, as well as they can, mobility is very well ensured globally. That opportunity our students, government of Karnataka student may be at loss. And another thing is the new education policy is emphasizing multidisciplinary. As Professor Meena Chandavarkar said, is it multidisciplinary is not good? Multidisciplinary is in need of the hour. That gives a student-centric education system, where student has the option to choose along with his major stream of courses. He can choose other courses in which he has a natural aptitude, natural craving to learn those skills. That could involve even various skill-based courses, entrepreneurship courses. No, the world is changing very fast. A lot of India is already third in a startup ecosystem. And this education policy will promote entrepreneurship among all streams of the, students. That could be at a loss now. Not only that, the present our physical infrastructure or physical education system, having a university with buildings, faculty, is not really going to cater to our target of 50% gross enrollment ratio, which Government of India has set by 2035. Therefore, Government of India under new education policies proposed a digital national university. So When that starts functioning, any student, especially marginalized section students who have, for various reasons, financial or otherwise various reasons, they are not able to get access to very good universities, they can get their degrees online, and it will be taught by very well-known academicians, not only Indian academicians, even global academicians. For that, government is going to create a common uh, digital centers across country, even at the taluka or sub-taluka level. That digital common service center will have all the facility. Student can go there and listen to the lectures or experiments. All that thing happen online. If new education policy, if you totally scrap it, our students will be at loss. Not only that, government of India would be giving funding. National National Research Foundation is coming up. Then the UGC will be releasing grants. All that could be linked with the implementation of new education policy. Any government outrightly rejecting it could compromise all these opportunities of getting more fund. Again, that will be a loss of our student community, teaching community. Again, new education policy is also encompassing or anticipating allowing foreign university to open a campus here, and our nationally important or significant institution can open a campus in abroad. That will again benefit students and faculty, because our students can go there, play one semester course, and come back, because credit transfer is allowed. We have ABC, credit academic credit bank. So student can go to foreign and learn one semester and come back, and same thing he can do it in India also. If you scrap new education policy, or students of Karnataka will be denied the opportunity of going to other institution for a particular semester. So the student will be at loss at the end of the day. For whatever reason, they have taken a decision to scrap it, but it should be done again. It should be subjected to scrutiny of a very renowned academicians. Then only that would be better. In my opinion, it is very difficult for any government. It may be a political reason, but when you keep in mind student community, we have to fall in line with national education policy with changes required to meet the local aspirations. That is the only way forward, in my opinion. And again, not only multidisciplinary, even this new education policy gives opportunity to learn in mother tongue or local language. That's a big boost. Otherwise, we lose our cultural heritage. If every one of us learn in English, most of us lose our real feeling for our culture, heritage. We become totally disconnected with our roots. And most of the well-developed advanced countries, like you go to Europe, they have their own higher education system taught in their languages. Go to Southeast Asia, everywhere. And this is the first time the experiment or opportunity is created under the national education policy, that the teaching and learning can happen in the local language or mother tongue. In the long run, this will ensure that our Indian knowledge system is also brought into the curriculum. What is wrong in bringing the Indian knowledge system in curriculum, which is well rehearsed, well researched, which is evidence based? And because that will help us to again know more about our own heritage in across the disciplines. So otherwise, only in the medium of education as English for higher education, it is a big loss to many marginalized section of student community, rural-based student community, and even our teachers. They could be much better in delivering their lectures if they are allowed to also deliver in mother tongue or local regional language. It will ensure the even regional languages to thrive. Otherwise, a day may not be far off. In Karnataka, Kannada may not be sought after. Because if Kannada is not linked with the earning bread and butter, this new education policy is ensuring that. So language is given due importance. with again vocationalization of higher education. We cannot say that it is not important. Entrepreneurship not important. Multidisciplinary not important. Seeing a holistic view, if you take, except as Madam said, we may be not happy with particular syllabus of particular course. Those things, yes, every government has a freedom to change it. But outrightly rejecting entire new education policy may put a confusion in the minds of academicians in Karnataka, which may not augur well for the education field. This is my personal opinion. However, the government, after all, it is a concurrent list education. Education is in the part of concurrent list, so they must be having their own political compulsions. But at the end of the day, any government has to keep in mind the interest of student community. This is what I feel personally. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the importance of NEP. And there is no provision in the NEP to impose Hindi on non-Hindi speakers. But some people have made very serious attempt or campaign against the NEP, as if it is against the interest of the people of this nation. On the contrary, what you have said, Professor Nagudi Sahab has said, for the first time in the education policy, it has been clearly defined that all subjects can be taught in mother tongue. And this is what all educationists across the globe have said. Education has to be taught in the mother tongue of the children, and NEP is doing this. And you also talked about the concurrent list. Education is in the concurrent list, and no state government can just scrap the new education policy. And this education policy is in the interest of every single citizen. And sir, we all know that India is a pluralistic society, and pluralism should not become our major handicap. It is very difficult for any government to prepare a document which can satisfy every single citizen in the country. We have more than 150 crore people, so many religions, so many communities, so many provinces, and so on. And this NEP, we should thank the government of India for constituting a committee of experts. The committee consulted lots of people across India and prepared this document. It is it's a systematic document. It's also a scientific document. Logically, there is logic in every single line that has been uttered in this document. Now, in view of this, what is going to be your suggestion to the government of Karnataka? Should government of Karnataka rethink about its decision to scrap NEP?
My only suggestion is, as Professor Murthy and Madam suggested, they have to consult a very well-known academicians from across the field, different discipline. Let them study the NEP. In what way it is compromising interest of Karnataka student community or Karnataka academic fraternity? In what way it is harming national development or becoming a barrier to the country's development? Let the expert committee give an opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And one more question to all the panelists. I will put this question to all of you and request all of you to answer, to respond to it one by one. My question is, why can't Indian politicians and governments rise above their very limited and narrow political outlook and perception and look at national policies such as NEP in the larger interest of students and the nation? To start with, I can request Madam, then Professor Murthy and Professor Ravindranath and Professor Alagwadi sir to respond to this.
Here, Professor Murthy, I think it's now why can't politicians think from that point of point of view, that was your question, Professor Pramod.
Politicians
Here,
and politicians, educationists and policymakers, all of them.
yes, yes. Everyone, yeah.
Yes, yes, madam.
First of all, we have to remember why are we indulging into this very, very crucial and critical exercise. So it is the national policy, national education policy, which affects the entire nation. And the nation, we speak about unity in diversity. We have different states with different ideologies, with different political parties, but all the goal for each and everyone is the development of the nation. That's fine.
Yes.
So here, to put in, I know we need a very broad-minded approach. If we are educated, if we are really educated, it is not literate. Being literate is not important. Being educated is important. And education brings a change in your mindset, in your attitude, in your approach, in the way you look at things, in the way you perceive things. And it should not be a tit for tat approach. That's not the approach which an educationist should have. So any policy, it has a far reaching effect. The policies which were made in 47, now we see a drastic change in those policies, because after 75 years, the nation has gone ahead on so many different counts. The pandemic has brought such a big change. The pandemic has taught us how online education and how through such platforms knowledge could be shared. And similarly, technology also has taught us how we have to every decade sees more than 60 to 70 types of jobs being obsolete, and another 100 types of jobs, they come into the picture. In 1973, I joined as a part-time passbook writer, Bank of India. A part-time passbook writer. In those days, human beings used to write passbooks. But now we can't imagine of people writing passbooks, because the machine does all these routine jobs is taken over by the machine. So accordingly, we have to change. There has to be creativity. There has to be innovative thinking. There has to be a deep analysis of what would be the consequence of the action which we take today. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be after 5 years, but it will definitely manifest itself after 10 years. And then the time it will be too late to undo what wrong we have done today. So now is the time. Today we have to think that whatever action, whatever decision we are taking, is it the one which is fair? Is it the one which is in the interest of our future of the nation? Is it the one which is going to be beneficial for our students? So we will not be there after a few years, but the students will see the nation being transformed from a developing nation to a developed one. And if that dream has to see the light of the day, then action which we take today, it's of a lot of importance. So I think a lot of giving and taking, we have to come out of silly thinking. We have to come out of a immature approach. We have to come out of something which we would like to do to undo just because someone else has done it. That sort of an approach should not be there. It is, after all, it is for the nation. It is for the student community. And what about the parents? What about the teachers? See, today, so many lecturers, so many faculty members of higher education institutions, they have completely changed according to the NEP syllabus and curriculum. And now, if it is again to be changed, what would be the fate of all these faculty members? How will they teach? And when will they teach? If their time is gone only in uh, writing and rewriting and correcting the syllabus, that will not be of any use, or any the consequence will be something which would be undesirable. So, from that point of view, policymakers, politicians, academicians, parents, all stakeholders in society, we all have to come out of our immature thinking. We have to be one and we have to work as a nation, as a whole. Only then any policy for that matter, not only the national education policy, any policy would be effective only when there is unity of thought and maturity in our thought. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Please stay back to take questions from the viewers at the end. As I listened to you, I remembered Shakespeare's statement: "What is done cannot be undone." So there is no undoing in life, and there is no undoing in government policies as well. And let us hope that the government, takes the decision to relook at its own decision. Now, I request Professor Murthy Saab to respond to this question.
Okay, I see. Thing I have in earlier I had told whatever. See, universally accepted norm is that education must be handled by educationists, and politicians or leaders are expected to promote education, not hinder education. This is universally accepted. I hope this message is known to our Indian leaders as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Karnataka needs lot of education reforms. As I mentioned, the government schools and colleges are in doldrums. Their standards have been much to be desired. Most of the government colleges don't have enough teachers. Most of the government schools don't have enough teachers. And infrastructure in government schools are pathetic, as told by High Court. And there are few toilets, there are few classrooms, and they are closing down government institutions because even the poor servant would like to send his child to a private school. I was talking to a barber, and he said he took 2 lakhs loan to send his son to a private school. You can imagine the status. So even the servants, you ask, and of course, no doubt, the most of our leaders, political leaders, everybody send their children to government schools, not government schools, the private English medium schools. So they will not be affected. Those private schools are already following NEP. Okay. Now the question is, let us look at the rating of our institutions in Karnataka. See, NIRF rating is a well-known thing. National Institute NIRF rating is known, out of which all in Karnataka are either in central sector or in private sector. And there are only 2 institutions who could get into the top 100 ranking was VTU and Mysore University. So the point is, government has to sort of look up all these issues and improve the government-aided institutions. Why are they going down the drain? Now, the thing is, will NEP help them in any way? Or you are scrapping NEP, will it help them? Okay. Now, these are the things. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, scrapping NEP will not affect to 90% of the people of Karnataka. Who are in the central sector, who are in the private sector, who are in the autonomous sector, who are in CBSE, ICSE schools, they will all follow NEP. So NEP is non-stoppable. So the thing is that this decision, government must be aware. It doesn't affect their children also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It will only be affecting the poor, marginalized, rural women mostly, and but they are the one who need considerable skill development. As Madam told, there are 2 types of training required is a part of education. One is to train your mind, make you a good human being, and train your material. So, as in Mundaka Upanishad, they say Paravidya and Aparavidya. So both have, this should be part of education. Experiential learning. Mahatma Gandhi introduced experiential learning just after independence, and they called basic training schools. I studied in such in a village basic training school where we did horticulture, we did spinning, we did weaving, in addition to the other things. Therefore, all these things is part of NEP. And why is it to be opposed? God only knows. Okay. Therefore, I think the time has come that NEP must be relooked by the Karnataka government and implement the things. There is nothing wrong with NEP as far as I can see. Okay. And if they have anything, let them list it out. What are wrong in NEP? And let it be circulated throughout the country, including in the state, academicians. Let the academicians discuss. So the point is democracy means this debate and discussions, not a dictatorship. Okay, nobody can dictate. Okay, you follow this. Therefore, education is an important thing, and Karnataka requires, and skill development is so critical for Karnataka. You look at any Bangalore, any of the security personnel are from North India. Okay, you find any of these, the people who are using many of the skills jobs are not from Karnataka. So should we not give employment to train them as part of NEP and train them so that they become skilled? The Bangalore Metro is running, is delayed construction because they are not getting skilled workers from Karnataka. They have to depend upon from Bihar and outside. Why can't the Karnataka people be trained on metro construction, on plumbing, on rod carpentry and things like that? So in fact, the thing is, it really it makes me very sad that our own Kannadiga are not finding jobs in Bangalore, whereas outsiders are able to do it because of the skills. Therefore, I think it should be a revolutionary step. I will appreciate Karnataka government if they can come up with a document which is better than NEP. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let them do it. Let them do it and make every Kannadiga a highly educated Kannada medium promoted and English. And in fact, the thing is, there's so much flexibility in NEP. Even an engineering student can
Thank you,
leave
sir.
and learn Kannada. Okay, an engineering student at Harvard, IIT, we are teaching music, as part of this one. So why not? It develops the overall personality of the student. See, the thing is, it's a learning. Learning is a continuous, lifelong learning. You see, therefore, I think we are. I think unfortunately we seem to be missing an opportunity to revolutionize education in India, and just scrapping NEP. It is like throwing the baby with the bathtub. Okay, that's what it is. Therefore, it is simply sad that such political decisions are taken with very unfortunate consequences. Therefore, I think it is because we as academicians at least convey our views to the government honestly and say, please relook at the whole thing, evolve a better system if you feel, education system, because Karnataka badly needs education reform. These are all my views.
Thank you, sir. We all agree with your view that education has to be handled by the academicians, not by the politicians. And let us hope and look for the day when all governments, state or center, realize the importance of allowing the education sector to be handled by the educationists, teachers, students, and vice chancellors. Now, I request Professor Raviraj Saab to respond to this question. And also, if possible, highlight the importance of teaching skills as envisioned in the NEP document. Sir, you are not audible. Sir, you are not audible.
Yeah, I'm coming now. So, with the inputs from the panel speakers is very rich to say, because here one of the things Murthy sir mentioning in the last, So that is about how to make the things, the education customized to the Karnataka requirements. Okay, so where the even the through committees, various committees, it has to be ensured. And now you know very well in the regional language, even the technical education also can be offered. So they are translating the all the technical education textbooks into regional language. AST has come up with under National Technical Technology Education Framework Board. That is it has been under the chairmanship of the Neil Sahasrabudhe is there, National Technology Forum, NETF. So that they are working out. Because now I would like to say there is one of the important thing is the United Nations has given Sustainable Development Goals. We always speaks about unity in diversity. So here is also the universalization of our education through quality. So that is possible. So even the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 is quality. That mainly mentioning about ensuring inclusive and equitable education. The quality education we have to impart to the aspiring learners, and also to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So this is one of the important aspects of the quality education goal number 4 under Sustainable Development Goals. So to ensure that particular things, so universally also to bring into the education system, NEP 2020 is one of the important aspects. So that is missing in the Karnataka now want to switch over from the national education policy to state education policy. So how the universality will come, that is mainly unity in diversity, what we speak about. And at the same time, how to ensure the quality and how to map the courses with the rest of the states and other things. So that is minimized earlier. So now the credit transfer and everything is easier for the mobility, just we mentioned. So when you are speaking about the skill education, just a few 2 days ago, the life skills curriculum has been modified in tune with the requirement. So they named it as, UGC named it as a 2.0. Earlier life skills curriculum is 1.0. Now it is named as a 2.0. And as I already mentioned that the madam, this is education is promoting the holistic education. Actually, this NEP is promoting the holistic education. And this enables the students in 5 contexts, especially he can be more independent and be confident and also financially accountable and well informed. Finally, he showed the leadership. So this is going to be promoted through the NEP 2020. And this is also a change also she was mentioning about. The change is happening in the student in terms of performance, in terms of behavior, and in terms of knowledge. The knowledge of the things as they were in the past and also are said to be in the present and ought to be, which is predicted or in future, whatever are there. So these are the things normally we look at. But as far as skills are concerned, there are 3 kinds of skills can be imparted through this flexibility which is providing. One is life coping skills, which every student enrolled for a graduation, they have to imparted these things. So basic analyzing and personal skills we can call it as. Then the sector skills, which is mainly employment generation are possible, agriculture, manufacture and service sector. And thirdly, the scholastic culture are centered mainly, we can say, the research, innovation and intellectual capacity. So these skills are varying from student to student based on their interest and their abilities, learning abilities. So this we have to promote, and this NEP 2020 has given this particular opportunity through multidisciplinary education. Earlier, we too have the undergraduate level in the general education, 3 subjects we used to study. Those 3 subjects are not to be considered as a multidisciplinary. It is considered as a interdisciplinary, because in the science faculty, science stream subjects we used to study. Today, the NEP has given such a flexibility that he need not require to study all the 3 subjects. He can study as a single major or a double major or a multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary is across the schools, he can choose another paper. So this one opportunity is coming up so that he can prepare for a different type of job roles in the society, which is possible. So these things normally we look at. But when the students are interested in particularly a job after 1 year multiple entry and multiple exit, when we are speaking about, so there will be a kind of skill education we have to impart. So that is 4 credits of theory and 6 credits of experiential learning, which we wanted to impart. That is the skill education. Now in the Central University of Kashmir, I am planning to introduce design your own course. A student today is well informed. So in the market, what kind of jobs are available? So based on that, he will decide. So he designed his curriculum, and we will ensure that some of the expert lectures is provided, and self-access and interactive learning partly 40% we will give the inputs, and 60% he will be on self-learning mode. He will go. Subsequently, we will attach to the particular agency in the sector skills, whatever are there, whether it is manufacturing or service sector. So there we will gain the experiential learning. So if he is interested, he will join in a job immediately after exiting first year, or otherwise he can come back and continue immediately to his graduation to the second year. So this what just we are thinking of. So this flexibility is coming from this NEP model what has been given to us. So how we can go ahead. Another options also we are planning out. So students can go to the School of Honors programs and finishing studies. Finishing studies mainly looked at the sector skill based courses only. And honors program is discipline specific, where intellectual and scholastic pursuits we wanted to in that. So in that way, just you can go ahead. So there the students are being allowed under dual degree mode. So I wanted to give an opportunity for the outside the Karnataka, Kashmir enrolled student to have the enroll for this particular program, because they are doing degree somewhere or another degree college. They can join here in this for honors program or finishing studies. So they can learn a particular skill through finishing studies. They can learn certain research skills through the honors program. So this provision we wanted to give to the even outside the students. So that also we are working out that particular modalities and other things. So these things has been provided by the NEP 2020. It is going to benefit the majority of the students, and also it is mobility. Also, students of the will be enhanced, and they have an opportunity. Yesterday, just I signed a day before yesterday. I signed an MOU with the international one of the university. So they were ready to give some flexibility for our students to do under immersion model. So partly they will give online, and partly they will give offline. So students need not require to spend maximum time, because their living expenditures will enhance. So that is the reason I decided 50% can be online, 50% can be offline, so that their living expenditures minimum they can complete. They can come out with that, because NEP has given the 6 different types of courses under core courses, minor courses, multidisciplinary courses, skill enhancement course, ability, value-added courses, and so on. So they can offer the 2, 3 credits or 4 credits, whatever the possible mode are there. So that flexibility just we are working out with the international universities, those who are interested and affordable. And also just I negotiated with our banks who are approaching our university. So whether you are ready to give student loan if they wanted to go. So they agreed to give. So if they get the travel and hospitality, they provide that international university, and students can complete some certain credits outside. So that international exposure gives their thinking process is totally changing, their behavior is totally changing, and performance also totally changing, and knowledge also enrichment is possible. So these things are workable if you looking at the skills. So we have to think about what kind of skills student is needed. First, every student we have to give the life skills. So otherwise, what is happening? Basic skills of communication, computer applications, and accounts. Now personal finance has been also being introduced in the new life skill curriculum. So that is which I envisaged earlier also. Now they have added that. So even numeracy is also one of the things. So these 4 are there for the student. So the depth of these basic skills, normally what will happen, he will be more dependent on his parent and other things. So if you make them, he need not require to be dependent. He can become an independent. Secondly, analyzing skills. That is mainly rational thinking, decision making, problem solving, and reasoning. So these skills are there. The lack of these skills, normally analyzing skills, are the characteristics of this just failure and addiction and criminalization is possible. So this, if you impart, this will be minimized. We are going to give to the society a more responsible citizens. So these are the things universities need to focus on the things. Next, another thing is personal skills. That is mainly the responsibility and integrity, honesty, self-management, and social engagement. So these also we wanted to ensure the student how we can make responsible. In the absence of these particular personal skills, also attribute for the corruption, violence, and social conflicts. These are the things possible. So we can avoid these things. So that is the universal peace can be attained, and when peace is there, the prosperity is possible. So student can make the better life possible. These things are there. So I feel that the skills, the flexibility is there in this multiple entry, multiple exit, and also student is interested to learn certain skills in the particular curriculum is in first and second year. They have been given some skill courses of 9 credits. So that is enabled, and subsequently if he is interested to learn under every year, so under summer or winter internship, they can go and learn those things. So this particular flexibility I have given to the students under design your own course model. So that is, it will be taken care of by themselves mostly, and partly will be university will support. So this one flexibility we have come up. So with these things, just I would like to conclude. Just if any other questions are there, I can answer subsequently.
Sir, we will conclude the panel discussion in another 5 minutes. I will take the opinion of Professor Lakwadi. Then we will take questions from the viewers. 15 minutes. Sir, 1 minute. 1 minute, sir. So NEP is a wholesome document. It's a complete document, and it is a student-centric policy. All our policies, were system-centric, teacher-centric, institution-centric. Now it is student-centric. This is one beauty of this document. I think all the panelists have highlighted this. Murthy sir, can you please give your response quickly, sir? Sir, you are not audible, sir. Can you unmute? Then we'll take the opinion of Lakwadi sir. Yes, sir. Please unmute, sir. I think Professor Murthy sir has some network issue. Meanwhile, I can take the opinion.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We are here.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Actually, now Ravindranath has already mentioned issues. One is I was deeply concerned about 2-3 things as far as one is the stress level of students has increased a lot of late, and there are suicides have increased. There are 48 suicides per day, student related in the country, and last year quota itself has 20 suicides in this thing. Therefore, our education must de-stress the students. Therefore, I think this is one aspect of education that must be imparted, which is also part of the NEP. And in fact, there is nothing wrong in emphasizing on yoga, meditation, or whatever techniques which has been universally proven to be useful for de-stressing the students, number one. Number two is Karnataka also has its own specific educational requirements, like electric vehicles, renewable energy. There are many of these, in aerospace, and many areas are there, and our institutions can really try to excel in all these things. See, Boeing is coming to India, then GE Aviation is coming to India. All these multinational companies were located in Bangalore, and government of Karnataka is giving a lot of importance to these multinationals as well as startups and so on. But I tell you, the sky is the limit if they revolutionize the education system. Therefore, I think, let them, I would say they should even improve upon NEP for Karnataka, and not scrap any point, but then add to the points. I think these are a few points I just wanted to mention, and let us hope that our policy makers as well as our leaders will listen to our sane voice, and for the sake of the country, for the sake of the society, and the sake of Karnataka. So we are all, after all, like sages. We have no personal interest. Only interest we have is for the interest of the society, interest of the state, interest of the people, interest of the country, and interest of the world. This is all I got.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I now request Professor Lakwadi Saab to give his opinion. With his opinion, we will conclude the discussion and take questions from the viewers. Over to Professor Lakwadi Saab.
See, as Professor Ravindranath sir said, new education policy gives so much scope, so much flexibility for educational administrator to empower the student community. This is something Innovative Experiment is doing, design your own courses by the student community. That is really is going to bring a ground or institution or industry to the education institution, matching. And this is possible because of new education policy. It gives a lot of flexibility and a lot of scope for every stakeholder of the education, be it a school or higher educational institution. Therefore, my only request to all politicians, irrespective of the party, they should rise above the political party consideration. They should be function like statements in the that serves the entire student community and academicians. That's all I want to add because already a lot has been said to your question by a distinguished panelist. I don't want to repeat the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I take questions from the viewers, I have two small announcements to make. I'll take just 1 minute. Dharwad Katte is organizing 2 lecture series. One on the philosophers, the world philosophers. This is the title of the lecture series. It will be held in Kannada, and 9 very important writers and thinkers of Karnataka will be delivering their talks from 16/9/2023 to 11/11/2023. Dr. S.R. Vijay Shankar, Dr. Mallikarjun Jalihar, Dr. Anand Kurahatti, Dr. Nataraj Budalu, Sudeep Balakrishnan, Vishwanath Sunkanad, Basavaraj Sadar, Praveen Sedam, and Rohinaksha will be delivering talks on 10 very important philosophers of the world, starting from Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Buddha, Chanakya, Shankara, Basava, Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, and Sri Aurobindo. We are conducting second lecture series in English from 3rd September 2023 to 15th October 2023. This lecture series will be inaugurated by Professor Bhattu Satyanarayan, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of Karnataka, Professor Alok Shrotriya, Director of Academics, Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak, Dr. Harit Meena, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of History from Central University of Haryana, Dr. Ravi Kangai, Department of History, Central Institute of Karnataka, and Dr. Harish GB and Professor Kotresh from Tumkur University, and Dr. Arjun from Karnataka, Central Institute of Karnataka, Kalburgi, will be delivering their talks on the Gupta dynasty, the Maurya dynasty, and the Maratha dynasty, Vijayanagara dynasty, and Chalukya dynasty. The title of the lecture series is Revisiting Ancient Indian Dynasties. So I request all the viewers to attend these 2 lecture series, which will commence from the next month. Now I can take questions from the viewers, and there is one question in Kannada I shall read out, and I request any one of the panelists to respond to it. It starts abruptly. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟ ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ಹೇಗೆ? I think it started. I'll take 1 minute. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪದವಿ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ NEP ಯನ್ನು ಆತುರದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾರಿಗೊಳಿಸಿ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಗಿವೆ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಅದರ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂದು ನೋಡುವ ಕುತೂಹಲ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆಯೇ? ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕವಾಗಿ ವಿಫಲವಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ NEP ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗಿನ ತರಗತಿಯೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ 100 ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಬದಲಿಗೆ 40 ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಿತಿಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯ ನೀಡಿ ಪಠ್ಯಕ್ರಮವಾಗಲಿ ಅದರ ಬೋಧನೆ ಆಗಲಿ NEP-ಗಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಇದ್ದದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಬದಲಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೊದಲ 100 ಅಂಕದ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು 6 ಗಂಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋಧಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆವು. ಈಗ ಅದೇ 6 ಗಂಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 200 ಅಂಕ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟ ಉಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ಹೇಗೆ? ಮೇಲಿನಿಂದ ಹೇರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಪುನಃ ಹೇರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡದೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ ವೈಜ್ಞಾನಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಗಾಜಿನ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಳಿತು ಯೋಜನೆ ರೂಪಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ತಜ್ಞರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಈಗಿನ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ NEP ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಕಾಣುವುದು ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ NEP ನಂತರ ಇಡೀ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪದವಿಗೆ ಸೇರುವ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಕೆಲವೆಡೆ 50-30 ಕಡಿಮೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. So this is from Sabita Banadi. She has expressed her reservation about the implementation of NEP in the state of Karnataka, and she has given several examples to prove that it has not been quite successful. I request any one of the panelists to respond to it. It's about. She talks more about about how NEP has affected colleges. She talks about infrastructure, manpower, and so on. She does not talk about the policy. She talks about other issues. Yes, sir.
If I may be allowed to answer,
Yes, sir. Please.
I agree with her comment with regard to implementation. Implementation is not well thought out properly, perhaps, because we need all the infrastructure as well as faculty, a qualified faculty in place. All those has been overlooked, or they thought it will happen over a period of time. And any new policy while implementing will encounter such problems. But government should allocate the funds as the committee has itself recommended. They have to allocate at least 6% of the national budget. If they enhance the budget, all the infrastructural hurdles or shortcomings or inadequacies, including appointment of the teachers. Actually, we are shortage of qualified teachers. Most of the universities are run on a contractual faculty. Even they are not paid well. Many universities don't have a permanent faculty in their departments. And how would they really take the burden of implementing the new education policy? That doesn't mean that new education policy is bad or wrong. Question is, implementation equally demands same kind of attention. As Professor Murthy said, we cannot throw baby along with the bathtub. The problem is, if something with the water, we have to take care of that water. I agree with her. As far as implementation concerned, we need to be more thoughtful and more facilitating.
Now we can take questions. I request the viewers to directly ask questions to any one panelist, or you can put your question across all panelists.
Hello, Namaste, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Sachin, you are audible.
So myself, yes, Sachin Kumar. I am the student of Central University of Karnataka from Education Department. Sir, my doubt is nowadays NEP is majorly focused on integrated
Who is your
programs.
question addressed to Sachin?
Sir, any one of them, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Sir, NEP is majorly focused on integrated programs. So, is there any advantage of integrated teacher education program, and is there any professional scope for MEd students in future days after successfully implementing of NEP? One is about ITEP program, and another one is scope for MEd students, Master of Education students. Thank you, sir.
I think Professor Ravindra can answer this question.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
No, I think any program has its advantages. I think you need not think of your own individual program, and in fact it can be internally discussed, and every program can be made useful. It requires a lot of interaction. Okay, so integrated programs are meant to create integrated personalities. So you don't become an isolated, disintegrated personality. You become integrated personality. So I don't think you need to bother about those aspects at all. Okay. Since I had to leave after 5 minutes,
Yes,
okay, if anybody want to ask something for me, then I can answer. Okay.
I'm done, sir. I'm now only allowing the viewers to interact.
Well, I think I must thank you. You're doing a wonderful thing, but I hope you will collate all the points which has come and at least convey to the government and to the media. And I think the media must disseminate this. Because the thing is, this is a crusade.
Yes.
I would consider this to be like a educational crusade in Karnataka, which can make or mar the future of students of the country. And state of Karnataka, because since I belong to Karnataka, I'm very proud of being Karnataka. I was educated in Karnataka. Therefore, and Karnataka has done wonderfully well in education sector after independence, definitely. But now is a time where it should not miss the bus. This is my concern. By being sort of away from NEP, I think they should not lose the opportunity. And and definitely they. But as Alagwadi said, they must have a lot of investment for in education, and I think this is because it is not just giving eggs, but giving education is equally important. Okay, therefore, I think we should suggest to the government invest. Whether it is through government sector or private sector or international sector, there's a golden opportunity for international players to come here. When international industries can come to Bangalore, international education can also come to Bangalore. Therefore, I think these are few points I just wanted to mention, and I may be excused. And thank you very much for this.
I thank you for attending this panel discussion and also giving your opinion on many important points of NEP, sir. And the Katte will prepare a report and submit it to the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka and also Honorable Education Minister, because this is an important panel discussion in which one sitting Vice Chancellor of Central University and four former Vice Chancellors of Central Universities and State Universities have participated and given their opinion in the best interest of the state and also the students. And the Katte will quickly submit a report and also release it to the press. Thank you, sir. And Professor Ravindranath, sir, would you like to respond to
Thank you very much. May I leave?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll go. Just Basuraj, I wanted to mention because one of the students is asking how
Yes, sir.
confusing ITP is.
Yes,
Actually, you know very well when a person chooses the engineering education, he wanted to be a professional or in that particular area. Similarly, now ITP is integrated teacher education is also who is aspiring to become a teacher, it is going to provide. Because earlier, BED always, as if you miss the master degree admission, then they used to do the BEd. Not with the aspiration they used to enter into the BEd earlier. So now it is that grooming the teachers from graduation to the BEd, they complete it and they can become a professionals like an engineer and other doctors, medical doctors, because it's considered as one of the professional education and they can make advantage of. Whereas for MEd and other things, it is for higher education. If you want to become a teacher to the teacher education, that MEd is going to help out. Or if you want to pursue further research, scholastic pursuits are there, that MEd will enable you to do the PhD in education. So where you can bring new models of pedagogy, new models of curriculum delivery, and new models of curriculum development with the changing needs. So that is possibilities are. So in this teacher education, that particular advantage is there with the integrated teacher education program. So that if a student who is aspiring to become a teacher, they can opt for this particular program. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I request Professor Ravindranath and Professor Alagwadi, sir, to stay back and take questions. And Dr. Lakshman Pujar and Sujata Mattiwad have raised their hands. Now, yes, Dr. Pujar.
Sir, I'm very much thankful to you, sir, for conducting such a wonderful program, sir. Sir, NEP, I'm working at Government Degree College. One of my friend asked that the minimizing the students is very essential from 100 to 40. Yes, I'm agree with him, sir. But as well as it is a syllabus which is having the practical oriented to involve and inspire to the students to engage in the classes and programs. But in the earlier system, it was not promoting students. But I am agree with this NEP system, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for expressing your opinion on NEP, Dr. Lakshman. And Sujata Mattiwad, you can ask questions straight to any one of the panelists. Any other viewer would like to ask question? Professor Ravindranath is available and Professor Alagwadi Sahab is also available. Yes, Manoj. Dr. Manoj.
Good evening, sir. I think it's a wonderful topic you have taken, sir. Thank you so much. And just today, I was just watching the media. One of the policymakers in Karnataka said that in Karnataka, this is affecting the Kannada language. I could not able to understand the statement out of NEP, how it is affecting. Can anybody throw light on this? Or
Yes. This is the apprehension expressed by Dr. Manoj. Sir, Ravindranath, sir.
Actually, there is no any such thing because it is promoting the Indian languages
Yes, sir.
and also the education, technical and professional education in Indian language to be
Yes,
given.
yes.
So that is they are encouraging. Actually, there is not nothing to going to do that. Probably they have different kind of. If you are aware of it, 1976 when amendment has been made into concurrent list, Karnataka was the first state to make use of that one because you opened the admissions to the other state students as well as for the foreign students. In the 1980, when I visited MS Rama Institute of Technology, so when one of my classmates admitted to the BTech program, I could see the Iranians are studying there and number of diverse students from different states across the thing they have come up. But there many other states emulated Karnataka subsequently. Andhra Pradesh started after 1980 only they started the private colleges. And even Maharashtra also started, and Tamil Nadu also started. So this Karnataka is in forefront in using any kind of reforms. And now how it has come to, because of political reasons, they wanted to change it. But the essence of the NEP is, at the moment, it is best and it is recognizable elsewhere. And even the world also welcoming the model which this particular government has brought in. So, and some other countries also wanted to bring this policy. Now, other day, just qualification equivalence also, the UGC draft guidelines, they placed it. So now it will be more easier for the student mobility. There is no much earlier. Otherwise, if someone want to get admission, they have to pay $200 to $500 for World Education Services to give the qualification equivalence. Based on that qualification equivalence assessed by that particular other agency, so admission used to be there. So when it is not matching 50%, they always deny the admissions. If matches 50%, they ask the remaining 50% after getting admitted to the complete additional credits to meet their requirements. So it used to be there. Now it will be minimized. And students, one advantage is there. There is need not required to do 2 years master program there. Only 1 year in India they can complete. Another 1 year only they can do. They can take the foreign degree. This advantage is also possibility is there. Now with inviting the foreign institutions to the country. So this is one advantage is there. Just you have to be please aware of the what the best benefits this is going to provide to the student community and especially aspiring learners. Okay.
It's very unfortunate, Dr. Manoj, that some people have not read the document, but they speak against the document.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
as sir said, there is no threat to Kannada. There is no threat to any of the Indian languages.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
On the contrary, there is provision in NEP to teach any subject or all subjects in all regional languages or state languages.
Yeah, there is a promotion of Indian language system is there. Indian knowledge system is there.
Yes,
so
sir.
both things. For example, if you take the literature in the Panini is the father of every language grammar, including English.
Yes, sir.
German also, they do acknowledge.
Yes,
Because
sir.
he is a Sanskrit scholar and he made that is to be workable. And every Indian language is also having the Panini grammar is incorporated, including Telugu, Kannada and everything. So that we have to be proud of our knowledge resource, Indian knowledge system, which was aged very long ago. At the time in Nalanda, it was known to the other day, just 6 months ago, I visited to the Nalanda. Then when I'm trying to read the history, there are 2,000 teachers per 10,000 students. Do we find today that many number of teachers in our campuses? So that's the way the education used to be imparted there. All across the world, we used to come out and study there in those particular places before it is being destroyed. Okay.
Yes,
So thank you.
We can take some more questions. Another 2-3 questions we can take. It's already 7:50.
Sir, may I speak to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Vijayalakshmi Dandreddy, working as assistant professor in Government College, Chelsea, sir. As the serious academicians, we all agree with the NEP, new education policy, the draft what it is completely student centric. But with this urge, through this platform, we urge to the government while implementing the NEP, we have lot of the issues regarding the infrastructure and everything, and we urge the government that to provide all the facilities for the proper implementation of this NEP, so that we all agree and we are very much happy with as a serious academicians with the NEP. This is only thing I wanted to share with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Vijayalakshmi. We can take 1 or 2 quick questions.
Professor,
Yes, sir.
shall I take leave? Because I have to catch a train now. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And I really appreciate for this effort, and I thank all panelists. Professor Ravindranath sir, it was nice meeting you online, and it is a great thing that you are doing a lot of innovative things in the university. Central University of I wish you all the best and look forward to your developments. Thank you very much.
Sir, I thank you on behalf of Dharwad Kate and all viewers for accepting our invitation and participating in our panel discussion and giving your opinion, very frank opinion on and about NEP. And I request Professor Ravindranath sir to stay back for another couple of minutes till I close the discussion.
Outside, we have to move for
Another 2-3 minutes. One or two quick questions, and only Professor Ravindranath Sabi is available for you to respond to your questions.
Actually, I would like to answer Vijayalakshmi.
Please, sir.
She made some observations. No doubt the problem is there, but any problem, there is a solution. There is no need to adopt any toto at the moment because the NEP has given flexibility of single major, double major, multidisciplinary. So you may not straight away move into multidisciplinary at the moment. You can go single major initially. Once your facilities are being strengthened, you can go for double major. Then you can go for the multidisciplinary. So that advantage you have to use. In a phased manner, we can implement the NEP 2020 more effectively, and we can make the students to be more challenging to face the future. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
One last question. One last question. I think viewers. Madam, would you like to say anything?
Yes. I wanted to say that training of the teachers, under this NEP, continuous training of teachers about how to implement, which skills are to be taught to the students and how to implement it, how innovative pedagogy can make a difference. In all these aspects, continuous training of teachers is a must. I think that is an area where we are lacking, and that needs to be addressed.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Sir, would you like to add anything else, sir? Ravindranath sir?
So what the madam has said is correct because this is also giving teacher education, teacher training and education is another provision. So the teachers has to make use of because now, as earlier also the speakers told about the technological revolution, mainly IT revolution has enabled to how to access to the higher education system. So now people need not require to feel that it is the earlier things has been diluted. Now student is coming to the class with highly informed because access to information system. So when he is entering into the graduation, we need not require to do spoon feeding like a school student. So let him first come read and discuss and debate. Tomorrow, this kind of education, it is anyhow transforming in another 10 years. When I was in Cambridge, the vice chancellor of that Cambridge University, he was mentioning about. So examinations are conducted online by third party, and education is also conducted by third party. What is the role of the higher education institution? Tomorrow, higher education should transform into centers of excellence, so that if any student come with a particular idea, we must be in a position to give mentor and facilities to be provided to transform that idea into a product. So that is the status we have to develop higher education institution. So in that way, just we have to go ahead with the making use of the NEP policy suggestions, whatever are the guidelines are there. If we effectively implement it, probably tomorrow we can transform this country itself into a Vishwaguru within no time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for expressing your confidence in making India as Vishwaguru. Thank you so much. And I must thank the viewers. The time has come for me to close the panel discussion today. There are still 55 viewers watching the panel discussion, and there were more than, I think there were 100 viewers in the beginning, and the capacity is only 100. So there were about 200 teachers and young researchers who tried to join the online panel discussion program today, but for the technical problem, we admitted only 100 participants. I thank you for attending the online discussion. And the Katte took the decision only a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, to organize this panel discussion. I quickly contacted five important educationists of the country. All of them readily agreed. Professor Ravindranath Anisitti, Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir. Professor S.S. Murthy, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi. Professor Meena Chandavkar, former Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Akkamadevi Women's University, Bijapur. Professor Mallikarjun Allakvati, former Vice Chancellor, Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi. Professor Karisiddappa, former Vice Chancellor, Vishweshwaraya Technical University, Belgavi. For some strong technical valid reason, he could not participate in our today's panel discussion. So I thank all the five panelists who are great academicians, who are all vice chancellors sitting and former vice chancellors, who are well-known educationists, for accepting our invitation and participating in the panel discussion and expressing their views, their opinions, very strong views, very strong opinions, opinion about the NEP, and also they gave suggestions and advice to the government of Karnataka, which decided today to scrap NEP 2020 and plan for state-specific education policy. And the Katte, as I said, will definitely prepare a report and submit to the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka and the Honorable Education Minister of Karnataka and also Honorable Governor of Karnataka, to requesting the government to relook at its decision to scrap NEP 2020, because NEP 2020 is in the best interest of the students across India. And the importance and significance of NEP 2020 has to be clearly understood. And let's trust and hope that the government will relook at its decision and implement NEP with certain modifications. And we will also urge the government of India, the Katte can also write a letter to send a report to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, requesting him to extend all possible help in terms of finance and infrastructure and manpower to all the states for the effective implementation of NEP 2022. So I thank all of you again, and good night. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Basaras, for giving this.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you. Very wonderful session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.